magazine. Please give it up for Mr. George Ramone.
And he's not doing his job.
It's dark. You just can't see that the lawn's been mowed.
It hasn't been. Yes.
Everybody agrees. Joining us from Washington, Fox News analyst and syndicated columnist Michelle Malkin, who has mixed feelings about the situation.
Your mom has mixed
That's true,
feelings?
right? Mixed feelings?
Who is this good-looking stud?
Horses are magnificent. They can be ridden on and they can pull a sled. But did you know that the first horses were invented by Utah State Fair?
Hello, I'm Sean Applebaum, and this is a special edition of the history of the Crusades. The Crusades, a very controversial time in Christian history, where Christian crusaders would travel to the Holy Land in order to recapture it and take it back in the name of God. It was a fight between the Christian crusaders of knighthood and chivalry against the Muslim Turks, the Arabs, and any other warriors that fought for Allah. The Crusades started in 1095, when the Byzantine Emperor Alexius was being attacked by the Turks, the Muslims, and the city of Constantinople was in great danger. Of course, Constantinople was the center of the Eastern world, so this was very important. Emperor Alexius of the Byzantine Empire sent word to Pope Urban II in Rome. He sent a request for troops to defend the land of the Byzantine Empire. Pope Urban II held a meeting in Clermont, France, in autumn of 1095. He requested that all Christians go on a holy crusade in the name of God to take back the lands that were captured by the Muslims. Pope Urban II's call for a crusade stirred the emotion of many Christians. They felt that they had a devotion, a will of God to take back the Holy Land from the Muslims. For these were the cities where Jesus himself walked, lived, and died. They felt that it belonged to them, for it was their God. So in 1096, the First Crusade begins. It's led with great heroic leaders of the Crusades, such as Godfrey of Gravois, Robert of Normandy, and other heroic leaders. It took about 3 years, but it was actually pretty successful, for they made it into the Holy Lands and took back many cities. Upon victory, at the end of the First Crusade in 1099, there were 4 Crusader lands, states as you will, divided among themselves. The country of Edessa, the Principality of Antioch, the country of Tripoli, and the kingdom of Jerusalem.
Nay! Thank you, Patsy. We are here on behalf of Pope, what's his name? Urban II to take Jerusalem back for all of Christendom.
No English!
If you do not give us Jerusalem, we'll take it by force. Patsy, storm the kingdom. Patsy, we're being attacked. Run away!
For nearly 40 years, the Crusaders were able to hold the new lands in the Middle East from the Muslims. But in the year 1144, the Turks finally conquered the county of Edessa. Clearly, the Muslim armies were beginning to gain a momentum, and a new threat of the Holy Lands was imminent. This threat brought about the Second Crusade. It began in the year 1147 and ended 2 years later in the year 1149. It was led by King Louis VII of France and King Conrad III of Germany. This The main purpose of this crusade was to take back the county of Odessa, but clearly gaining of new lands was a purpose of the crusade. They were able to get as far as Asia Minor before the two armies began to split, and eventually they were defeated by the Muslims. It was pretty much a slaughter, and it can go down as being one of the worst crusades in history. Hi, welcome back. We left off with the disaster that was the Second Crusade. In the years that followed, the Christians were able to hold some of the cities, but a new leader was arising among the Muslim people, and his name was Saladin. Saladin was a very good leader and would soon become a hero to the Muslim people. With the death of his father, Saladin began to rise to power, and he traveled across the Muslim lands, conquering rivaling factions. Pretty soon he was able to unite the Muslim area and become Sultan of Egypt and Syria. And that was in 1183 when he was successful. 5 years later, in 1187, he defeated the main Christian army and was able to take Jerusalem. This taking of Jerusalem led to the Third Crusade, which is probably the most popular crusade and famous of the Crusades, because it pits two heroes of each side against each other. The Third Crusade was originally led by King Philip III of France, but unfortunately at the start of a freak accident, King Philip drowned. So Richard I, also known as Richard the Lionhearted, began to lead the crusade. In 1191, after traveling for many years toward the Holy Lands, he was able to conquer the cities of Acre and Jaffa, which were very important port cities to the Mediterranean Sea for the Christian lands. Unfortunately, though, he did try to take Jerusalem. He got near Jerusalem when he realized that he just didn't have the resources to take it. So unfortunately, the Third Crusade resulted in the loss of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem was left in the hands of Saladin and the Muslims. But before leaving, Richard and Saladin did create a treaty that allowed Christian pilgrims to enter Jerusalem, to make a pilgrimage to the Holy City. Like I said, it was probably the most popular crusade because it had Richard the Lionhearted, a great leader of England, a great king, and probably the most famous hero of the Crusades, and Saladin of the Muslims, probably one of the greatest leaders of the Muslim armies. And that's the Third Crusade.
Say there, good knight. I wish to speak to your king to see if he'll join me on my quest for the Holy Grail.
Are those coconuts you have there?
They are?
Yes, where'd you get those coconuts?
I found them. That's not the issue here. I wish to speak to your king. Let me in.
The coconuts are not normal to this region. Where'd you get the coconuts?
I wish for you to join my quest in Camelot.
Never.
This is ridiculous, Patsy. Let's go.
And now, a word from our sponsors.